Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. In today's video we are going to discuss a question on the area under a curve, and this is the question. The diagram below shows a straight line y is equal to negative x plus 7 intersecting the curve y is equal to x minus 1 squared plus 4 at the points A and B. So we have the diagram just as shown, and then for part A, find the coordinates of A and B, and then part C, calculate the area of the shaded region. So let's begin with part A, find the coordinates of A and B. Before we continue, we need to consider this. This is y-axis and this is x-axis. In order to determine the coordinates of A and B are the points of intersection for the two, that is the curve and the straight line y is negative x plus 7. So that means we are going to solve the two equations simultaneously, and that can be achieved by just equating the two of them. Remember, both of them are y is equal to, here also y is equal to, and therefore you can just equate the right hand side. So we'll have for the curve x minus 1 squared plus 4 is equal to negative x plus 7. Expanding left hand side, that is x minus 1 squared, this would give us x squared minus 2x plus 1. Remember, I'm just using the identity a minus b squared is equal to a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So I've used this quadratic identity to expand x minus 1. So it's in this form. And then we add 4. And then on the right hand side we have minus x plus 7. So simplifying this further, we can bring every item on the right hand side of the equation to the left hand side, so that we have x squared minus 2x, and then negative x crosses so that we have plus x, and then here we have 1 plus 4, that is plus 5, and then 7 comes to this side so that we subtract, and then the right hand side we have 0. So this again simplifies to x squared minus x, and then 5 minus 7, that is minus 2, and then we equate to 0. So the task here is to solve this quadratic equation, and I'm going to use the quadratic formula. X is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over twice a. So we can identify here that x will be, so b is the coefficient of x here, which is negative 1. We have negative x, so it's negative 1. So the negative of negative 1, that is negative b. The negative of negative 1 is positive 1. So we have 1 plus or minus the square root of negative 1 squared, that is b squared, which is just 1. And then we'll also have minus 4 times 1 times c, and c is negative 2. And then we'll divide this by twice a, and a is 1, so 2 times 1 is 2. This simplifies further to 1 plus or minus, so this negative and this negative multiply so that we have plus. So we have 1 plus 4 times 1 times 2, that is 8. So 8 plus 1, that is 9. And then the square root of 9 should give us 3. And then we divide by 2. So the first value of x will be 1 plus 3, which is 4. And then we divide by 2, that is 2. And then the next value of x is 1 minus 3, which is negative 2. Negative 2 divided by 2, we get negative 1. But remember, we're looking for the coordinates of points A and B. So we need to look for the y coordinate. Remember, a point is x, y. So we need to look at the y coordinate. So substituting x is 2 in any of these equations. So you can either use this or this. So I'll go by the one which looks simplest. So this y is equal to negative x plus 7. So let me just write it here. Y is equal to negative x plus 7. So when you substitute, if x is 2, here y becomes, that is 7 minus 2, which is 5. So y is equal to 5. And again, if x is negative 1, substituting in the same equation, y becomes, that is 7 minus negative 1. So if we substitute it here, we'll have negative x, and x is negative 1 plus 7. So negative and negative, that is plus. So we have plus 1. 1 plus 7 is 8. So y here is 8. That means for these coordinates, we'll have the point 2, 5. And for these coordinates, we'll have the point, add that bracket. And then for these coordinates, we'll have the point negative 1, 8. So we can identify which one of these is A and which one is B. Now let's get back to the diagram. Of course, A should be negative 1, 8, because the x coordinate is negative, so it must be on this side of the y-axis. And then B should be 2, 5, because the x coordinate 2 is on this side of the y-axis. Now let's look at part B. Calculate the area of the shaded region. When you're determining the area of the shaded region, we want to look at the limits. The region begins from the point x is equal to negative 1, that is the x coordinate here, up to this point B, where x is equal to 2. So we're going to determine the area of the shaded region by integration. The area of the shaded region is, so we're going to integrate from the limit x is negative 1 up to x is positive 2. So this is what we are going to integrate. Now let's consider this. We have the line whose equation is y is equal to negative x plus 7, and the curve whose equation is y is equal to x minus 1 squared plus 4. So x minus 1 squared plus 4 we had simplified as. So let's look at this. We'll see it here. We were getting x squared minus 2x plus 5. So x squared minus 2x plus 5, x squared minus 2x plus 5. So that is the same equation. So what we're going to say, because between point A and B, the straight line is above and the curve lies below, then you're going to have the equation for the straight line minus the equation for the curve. If we had the curve up and the straight line below, then we'll have the curve minus the straight line. So we're going to have the equation for the straight line minus the equation for the curve. So that's what we have in this bracket. That is negative x plus 7. So we're just considering the right hand side of the equations. And then this will have to subtract x squared minus 2x plus 5. And that is the equation for the curve. And then we do this with respect to x. This simplifies to, so we have from negative 1 up to 2. So when we open the brackets here, this should give us negative x squared plus x plus 2 you can try that. That is what we need to get as the result, and then with respect to x. So the next thing is to integrate this. For this part, we have negative x cubed, and then the power becomes the denominator, so we have to add 1 to the power, and then the result divides. And then here we also have plus x power 2 divided by 2, and then plus 2x plus the constant c. This is done within the limits x is -1 and x is 2. So we are going to find the area as follows. First, we are going to substitute for x in this expression. We're going to substitute the upper limit and then the lower limit, and then we get the difference. So for the first bracket, we have for the upper limit, and that will be -2 cubed over 3 plus 2 squared over 2 plus 2 into 2. We'll just ignore c because at the end of the day it will still disappear. And then once we've substituted the upper limit, we are going to substitute the lower limit. So minus the lower limit, we have -1 cubed all over 3 plus -1 squared over 2 plus 2 into -1. And then when you work out the first bracket and the second bracket, and then we get the difference, then the result should be 4.5 square units. And that is how we go about this question. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye.